your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell out before you blow up a plane.
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what, good to say I dabbled in stand-up for so long. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt.
I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean.
Hello, boys and girls. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. It is the last day of January. It is Wednesday, January 31st. Welcome to the Chrissie Mayr Podcast. You can hear this podcast everywhere. Spotify, SoundCloud, Rumble, Rockfin, Twitter, Twitch, even Facebook when they don't have me in Facebook jail. Before I bring on an old friend and a fabulous guest, I got to tell you guys about one final pregnancy comedy show that you will be able to see me very pregnant. This will be a month from now. So I will be basically manatee sized. Come see me in New Jersey, Saturday, February 24th at Tiff's Ale House, 8:30 show. I'm probably going to film this for some kind of at least clips, if not a proper Prager special. My good friend Keanu Thompson will be featuring, and Andrew Harms will be doing a spot. And you know Andrew from the Wet Spot on Compound Media. He's my little, he's not little, but he's my announcer over there at Compound. So come on out if you're in the Jersey area. And then just be little spots here and there, probably around the city. Anything I can drive to. No more road gigs for yours truly, because nobody wants to clean up placenta from the airplane. I know, right? Yes. Very good. And of course, as a reminder, this Friday Night Tights will be starting at 12 p.m. Eastern. That's noon. Also known as noon. So tune into that. Also, later tonight, I will have Malcolm Flex on the show at 9 p.m. Eastern. And tomorrow, I will have Kat Canada at 3 p.m. Eastern and Jay Dyer at 9 p.m. Eastern. So got a busy little week coming up. So just getting some things done. All right, enough of that. I'm so excited to have this guest on today. I have known him forever. He is not only a stand-up comedian, but he's also a pretty famous poker player. And I think it's a very interesting combination of skills. He has a very specific set of skills. And he's here to promote his brand new stand-up comedy album called Middle Child Syndrome. Welcome to the show, Clayton Fletcher.
See, great to see you. Looking lovely, all knocked up and everything. How's it going?
Yes, I look great from the tits up. It's it's tits down that things start to get a little wild. But thank you. Is that a real kitchen behind you, or is that like a green screen?
No, it totally looks like green screen wallpaper kitchen, but no, that's my real life kitchen in my apartment.
Holy, are you gay? It's so clean. What the hell? What's going on?
Well, to be fair, the housekeeper was just here a few hours ago, so yeah, give her credit.
Okay, and the housekeeper is gay. Great. No, okay, that explains everything, because usually a straight man, the kitchen never looks like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't think, but
especially a comedian. There'd be cereal bowls everywhere, weed papers, bongs.
Yeah. That's what it looked like before the housekeeper came. This is the after shot behind me.
I love it. The last time I saw you, Clayton, was, I believe, in an elevator at AVN, which is the basically porn Emmys. This was a couple years ago. It might have been 2020 or 2021. And it was at the old I think, Virgin Hotel in Vegas, or maybe
Yeah.
they've changed it to they've renamed it since then.
It was the Hard Rock then. It's a Virgin
Hard
now.
Rock, the
Yeah.
Hard Rock,
Yeah.
which you couldn't have a more perfect name for a porn awards show. Hard Rock. I mean,
Yeah, or a worse name than Virgin. You know, it's like a
right.
Virgin.
They really took it from one extreme to the other. And neither you nor I were nominated for an award. You were there to I was there to cover the events and do interviews, and you were there legitimately to play poker.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I play in a number of high stakes poker tournaments every year, and you know, it's hard to make a living as a comedian, so I also gamble. It makes a lot of sense.
Very healthy.
Yeah, no, it's working out for me. I've been playing poker professionally for about 17 years, and
Wow.
yeah, it serves me well. It's a great way to stay out of trouble after the comedy show. When a lot of comedians get into all kinds of trouble, either drinking or doing drugs, I'm just like, "Where's the casino, man? I got to go play some poker."
That really does not say much for the comedy industry when you seek out gambling to avoid trouble from stand-up comedy. Usually it's
Yeah,
like
totally.
usually if you find yourself gambling, it's like you're not in a great space in life.
Yeah, yeah, but you know, the professional poker players are a different breed. I mean, we take the game very seriously, and we're kind of intense with our money management and just our understanding of the value of a dollar. The ones who make it more than a year or two, it's because they have those kind of discipline. You know, they have that good skill of discipline. That's very important.
Does that mean you'll never like put your house on the line or put like some or do you do that? Are you guys doing that?
Well, I was in a poker game last night, and I actually wagered your unborn baby. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
gonna be tough to settle up on that bet. But no, you have to be careful. Like, you can't bet what you can't afford to lose. I mean, if you go to Vegas once and you make a huge mistake, right? You max out one of your credit cards, just going crazy. One time in your life, you go to Vegas. You know, that probably isn't gonna ruin you and your family. But you know, I'm there so often, and I'm around gambling all the time. Like, I really need to be meticulous and disciplined, and you know, just make sure that I don't bet anything that I can't afford, you know, to lose. You kind of have to assume you're going to lose, and then hope that you don't, rather than bet the farm and just pray to God that you win. That's not a good strategy.
What separates the people who, like you, seem very with it and together versus the people who are kind of out of control and are destined to go broke and destitute and ruin their family over it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just really a matter of whether it becomes a compulsion or not. You know, like, you know, gambling is dangerous, just like any other addictive thing that you can get into, whether it's alcohol or sex or, you know, any kind of vice that we can become addicted to. You know, gambling is no different. Some people can't walk away from the table until they lose their last penny. They'll never be happy. And so if that's your personality type, you should just stay out of casinos, don't get involved in poker, and just, you know, stay out of that world. But if you're the kind of person that likes to kind of analyze and think about a game away from the table and just kind of have something to obsess over, poker and comedy are both really great for that, because there's no finish line, right? You're never like, okay, well, I've mastered it. You never truly master either one. So that's why I'm kind of really into both.
I think I've really truly gambled like really twice. One time, I was on a trip. I used to work at this hedge fund, like right before the economic collapse, and we went to this casino, and I don't know. I think we were playing roulette, and I won like $100 or something, and I was like, "Well, that's it." I left and like went and bought a purse right away. I was like, "I like my money where I can see it slung over my shoulder." You know,
Yeah,
I get too anxious to lose too much.
yeah.
And have you ever been involved with or heard about like gambling pools, which is something I've heard that people do? Is like you'll have someone like probably like a sketchy person sort of get someone to give them a lot of money and be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to gamble with this money and I promise to make you back a certain amount." Have you ever encountered anything like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been in this gambling world for a long time, Chrissy. I've seen every possible scam, every kind of shisty character. I mean, for a time before TikTok shut it down, there were a number of accounts where that's what they would do. They would sort of crowdfund their slot play. So, I'm going to go play high stakes slots. We're going to do $100 a spin on a slot machine. And we just want everybody to make donations. And then if we win, we'll share it with everybody or whatever. But yeah, they TikTok got rid of that. I don't know if there's any other platform that still allows it. But the scam there is every time you place a bet in a casino, if you have a player's card, you get comps. It's kind of like frequent flyer miles or cash back.
And then the person takes the crowd fund, and then they get all the comps. They get all the free buffet meals. Yeah.
Oh, better than that. I mean, these guys were playing really high stakes. They were probably getting whatever. Sky's the limit.
What's better than a buffet?
Jet to Vegas? Yeah, no problem. So yeah, I mean, there's always an angle. Anytime there's a lot of money to be won or lost, there's always an angle. Then somebody's going to figure out a way to try to separate man from dollar, and that's kind of what it's all about at the end of the day.
Do those people ultimately get in trouble, or do you think they're able to go years and years just scamming people?
Yeah, I mean, maybe some of them do it till they die. It's just, I mean, of course, if you're in that business, you would absolutely have to pay out on the rare occasion that you won. If you got a reputation for taking people's money and then not paying when they won, then obviously you'd be out of business in a heartbeat. But yeah, I think what the people who are betting on these guys don't realize is that they're making a ton in comps off of you, and it's completely just off under the table, if you will.
That's interesting. So it's, even though it's this world that is kind of dangerous, there are you can kind of keep yourself in like a sort of safe position, I guess, by knowing what kind of people to avoid and knowing when to stop.
You know me a long time, Chrissy. I always need to be in a safe space, I'd be covered in a warm blanket.
What's more dangerous, gambling or comedy?
I think probably comedy. Yeah. I mean, there seem to be more psychopaths in comedy than there are in poker, but there are plenty in both. But yeah, in my experience, a lot of the people I've met in poker are some of the kindest, most empathetic, intelligent, warm, charitable people I've ever met, and I really couldn't make that same statement about comedy. I think there are a lot of good people in comedy too, but the percentage is actually way higher in poker. Now, I'm not talking about gambling in general, because I think if you're looking for slot machines or crap shooters or anything like that, it's going to be a very high percentage of scumbags in that world. But yeah, I've met a lot of really just friends for life through poker that I would actually trust with my credit card, my social security number. But yeah, I would never say that about too many comedians.
I'm a crap shooter too, Clayton, but only after I've had Taco Bell. So we have a new album out called Middle Child Syndrome. Is this your first album?
Yeah, so I had an album about 10 years ago. It was called Clayton Fletcher, Actually Funny. I used to have a joke about how somebody said to me after the show that I was actually funny, and I took that as an insult. So this album is actually the audio from my new special by the same name, which is also out there on Amazon and Apple TV. And the special, the audio is the album. You can actually listen to the album for free on Spotify. If you just type my name in, Clayton Fletcher, or just type in that, that title, Middle Child Syndrome, it comes right up. It's doing really well on Spotify, actually. It's #1 album on Spotify right now, a comedy album, I should say. It's not beating Taylor Swift's new album, but the comedy on Spotify, the album's doing great. So
no, but just wait, Clayton. Maybe George Soros will buy your whole collection, and you will be Miss Thing, next year.
I've always wanted to be Miss Thing.
Okay, very, very cool. So yeah, middle child syndrome is when you don't get the love and the attention of being the baby of the family, but you also don't get the responsibility and the freedom of the oldest child. So you're sort of caught in the middle. You're neither important nor special.
Yeah, right, pretty much. And I was one of 3 boys, and so I was always just kind of forgotten. I wasn't the oldest. I wasn't the youngest. My little brother, the baby, was actually born on my very first birthday. So I literally never had like my own birthday all to myself. I never had like a party that was just for me. So no wonder I got into
Aw.
comedy and theater and wanting to put the spotlight on myself all the time because I just never got any attention when I was a kid. So yeah, now I'm all grown up and I'm still talking about it. So I guess I never got over it after all.
I mean, that's horrible. You and was it your older or your younger brother had the same birthday?
Yeah, my younger brother.
Oh, the nerve of your parents. They couldn't have banged a week later. Come
I
on.
know. Somebody told me this is called Irish twins, but I don't really get that. Like,
Are you less than a year apart?
we're exactly 1 year apart. He's born on the
Oh,
same
yeah,
day.
that does qualify. Right, of course. It'd be impossible for you to be less than a year apart if you have the same birthday. So you're exactly 1 year apart. Yeah, your dad could not keep it in his pants.
Well, my dad was a jazz musician, so that story checks out.
Oh, wow. So you've got a lot of well, and your mom was a poker player too, right?
Yeah, I mean, she started teaching my brothers and me how to play poker. We would play like after dinner around the kitchen table.
Like
Like
as
that was
kids?
we would play for real money. We play 7-card stud, and if you lost your allowance, you have to wait till next Friday.
So how old were you when you first learned how to play poker?
I mean, I learned the rules when I was probably 5 or 6, and actually started actually playing for money before I was, in puberty, probably like 10 years old.
That's so young. Well, no wonder. Look at, I mean, you're getting to the point where, what did you get on TV for first? Comedy or poker?
Well, I mean, I was on TV in comedy first, but I wasn't as featured. I was like one of a panel of comedians, like on the Ricky Lake show. That was my first ever TV credit a long time ago. But it was like me and Wally Collins and Steve Hofstetter and a bunch of others that were all kind of like this panel of comedians.
Came up together.
Yeah,
Okay.
but when I was playing poker and I had the chip lead in the 2018 World Series of Poker main event, and the top prize was $8.1 million. They couldn't stop talking about me. It's like there's a comedian from New York and he's killing it. And they had like Norm Macdonald and other comedians that I knew were just glued to the tube watching me play and hoping that I would bring home the bacon.
Were they, God, you know what I would hate if I'm sitting there trying to focus on my poker and people are just like, oh, you have any jokes? Do you want to tell us a joke? I would be like, fucking just.
So I ended up getting 26th place in that tournament out of 8,700 and some players.
That's really
and
good.
I ended up winning like $300,000, $280, something like that.
Is that the most you've ever won?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
And I'm walking away from the table, and I'm disappointed because it's hard to believe, right? I just won 6 figures in playing poker, but I was actually disappointed because I kind of had my heart set on becoming the world champion, which is what they call whoever wins that tournament. I was just,
and then they win 8 million.
Yeah, and they win 8 million. So it's a big difference. So even though I won a lot of money, I was actually disappointed because I had the chip lead and I was thinking maybe I'm going to win this whole thing and then be immortalized as the World Series of Poker champion 2018. So even though I won a lot of money, my spirit was a little bit crushed. And right away, the ESPN camera is right in my face, like, can you tell us a joke? We hear you're a comedian. Can you tell us a joke? And the last thing I felt like doing was making a joke right then, but I was also like, there's a big audience watching this. So I tried. I don't know how funny it was. I really wanted to cry and not laugh.
Do you remember what joke you were able to muster up in that moment? Did you have any planned thinking like, all right, at some point, someone's going to ask me for a joke?
Well, I do have things planned now where I just try to find like really short jokes that you can do at the table because I get tired of telling people, don't ask comedians to tell you a joke.
No.
Right. I don't want to be rude to them. They're interested. And sometimes poker tables are really boring. I want people to feel like they can hang out and talk and we can have some fun while we're playing because there's a lot of downtime in poker where you're waiting for this guy to make a decision. And it's a slow game sometimes. So I like to be able to socialize and make some jokes. But yeah, I think that day on ESPN, I just literally did some of my material about my mom being a poker player. But I just don't know if it really went over. Yeah.
I have basically a street joke. If ever I'm in an Uber and I make the mistake of telling them I do stand up, I always tell this joke. And they're like, I'm like, fine. All right, here we go. It's not even my joke, but it's just so easy to tell. I go, okay. If mothers have Mother's Day and fathers have Father's Day, what do single guys have?
What?
Palm Sunday.
It's cute.
And then if they don't get it, I look in the rearview mirror, go, like jerking off, and then they feel so awkward they don't talk to me for the whole ride, and it's mission
Which was the
accomplished.
goal anyway. So
Which
that's
is
a
the
win-win for
goal.
everyone.
Yeah, I just want to creep them out till they stop talking. So
Yeah, go with a good street joke. That's my advice to comedians.
yeah,
When
don't
somebody
get into
keeps
your
coming-
set because it's not going to translate.
Yeah, and don't tell them, hey, I don't come to your job, and what are you,
Yeah.
a doctor? Would you test my blood pressure?
Yeah, you a
Don't
gyno?
be
You
that
want to have a look at something? I got a situation down here.
Yeah. I mean, I get that it's frustrating, but I think a good street joke kind of solves the problem. You want to hear my favorite street joke? It actually involves a doctor. A guy goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Sir, you have to stop masturbating." And the guy says, "Why?" And the doctor says, "Because I'm trying to examine you."
Oh, oh, that's great. My other favorite street joke is like, I'm gonna butcher it, but it's like something about a woman's at the gynecologist, and the doctor says, "Wow, what a hole! Wow, what a hole!" And then the woman's like, "You didn't have to say it twice." He's like, "I didn't. There's an echo," or something like that. That's so stupid. But I'm all for a street joke because it's like the person just wants to hear something funny. They're not gonna like fact check you on it. It's like it's not like you're doing it on stage as part of your set, as part of a recording or something. It's just something to like shut these people up.
Yeah, just give them
I
what
don't
they
know.
want.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? It's different if you say you're a massage therapist and they're like, "Oh, can I get 30 minutes for free?"
Yeah.
Give them a street joke and get on with your life. That's what I say.
That's really cool. So what was your process like for recording this album? How long
Oh,
did
so
it
the
take you to
album
read
was
everything?
it was amazing. I mean, I just I ran my material 100 million times, and then I had they actually gave me a whole night at West Side Comedy Club. I got to do 2 shows on a Saturday, early show and a late show. Had all my friends with expensive cameras come and film me. I basically produced it myself. I didn't have a director really, and then ran it. The first show, the crowd was really, really bad. Like it was super hard for anybody to get laughs. I had great comedians. I had Menu and Heart open.
Was it an early show? Was the first show really early? Like
It wasn't
7?
that early. I think we did like 7 and 9:30. It wasn't like
What
4
day
p.m.
was it? Oh, it was Saturday. So there's no excuse. They should have
Yeah.
pregame before getting
Yeah,
there.
they were just dead. I mean, it wasn't working. Ginny Hogan, who I think is hilarious, and she featured, and everybody was coming off stage like, "Man, this is like it's pulling teeth tonight trying to get laughs." I'm like, just what you want to hear when you're doing a taping. But thankfully, the late crowd was
great
amazing.
to have too. Yeah.
Yeah. That second one kind of saved the day and bailed us out. And I felt looser anyway because I had already run it once with the crowd and the lights and the camera and everything. But yeah, when I listen back, the audio of the second show is so pure. It's just crystal clear, and I'm super happy with it. And I knew we had an album. So from there you just send it out until somebody buys it, and there you have it.
If both of the shows were similar quality and crowd reaction, would you have done something where you like cut them together at all, or did a combination of the 2 shows?
Yeah, we did basically that. I mean, the album and the special, it turned out to be like 90% just the second show. But there were a few lines that like I said better in the first show. Like I said it the way I want to say it. And so they could use me saying that, but still use the laugh from the second show. Because that first crowd, they were hardly laughing at anything.
Wow. That's really cool. That's the way to do it, is to do 2 shows. When I recorded my album, it was live from January 6th. That didn't even occur to me. I had 1 show, 1 take. It was out on Long Island at Governor's. I think it was at either Brokerage or the other one. It wasn't McGuire's. I think it was the regular Governor's Club. But I got so lucky and got a really good take. And
you had 1 shot to do it.
1 shot. I was just like, please let this work. But you're so hyped, and it was Long Island. Those are my people.
Yeah, I was just there at Brokerage last weekend. I headlined for them. I love it there. I just, they're just
Long Island's the best. Long Island, Jersey, it's basically similar to like the whole rest of the country. If you can avoid a blue city, most of the country laughs at the same stuff, unless you're in like LA or New York City. Then you got it.
Maybe like Seattle
Or maybe like Portland.
Minneapolis.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never performed in Portland. What do I know? But yeah.
Yeah. What you think is probably right. Yeah. I mean, you don't want the audience to be too uptight, right? Now, when you and I started in comedy back in the day, the most uptight people would have been the conservatives, right? It was like free speech was things that liberals cared about. And now it feels like the only people that really want to be able to say whatever they want are the conservatives, which I just find incredible. Like, who would have thought that things would turn around so quickly?
Right, because most normal people have become more conservative, whereas back in the day, it was only like the Christian conservatives that were sort of like uptight and, easily scandalized. And now it's like everything is so jacked up. What year did you start, Clayton?
Yeah, I've been doing comedy since 2001. So
Okay,
yeah,
wow.
long time. Yeah.
I think I started in either 2010 or 2011. I'll have to look back to my.
You're
my
so good,
archives.
Chrissie. I thought you'd been doing it longer than that. I mean, last time I saw you were absolutely murdering, and I'm like, geez.
I did not pay him to say that.
No, I didn't. No, it's true. I mean, I really love your comedy. I like how you push the envelope. I really enjoy watching you work, and even some of what you do on social media. It's like you like to push people's buttons a little bit. And that's, in a way, I think that's what we're supposed to do. I'm never trying to offend anybody, but I'm not really going to change my opinion in order to not offend somebody. I'm just going to speak my truth. And if you like it, you'll laugh, and then we'll get on with our lives. No big deal.
I like Clayton saying he likes my comedy. That's a nice way of saying that he is also racist. So thank you, Clayton.
Yeah, we have to stick together under these white hoods.
We do. You look different without your hood.
Cancel culture.
No, you do. You do have to. I'd like to say things just to sort of push buttons and just test people, and sometimes just on Twitter, like just saying true statements and seeing who gets triggered by it and why. And but that really that makes me feel really good to hear you say that, because I'm always comparing myself to other comedians who are they do zero podcasting. They're getting on stage every night. They're booked on the road every weekend. They have management and agents hooking them up into the mainstream scene. So I always wonder, like, that it's part of being a comedian. You never feel like you're doing enough. You never feel like you're good enough. We all have that imposter syndrome.
Isn't that your thing? You're not doing enough spots.
That's what it was. I got in trouble a few years ago. God, this was a while ago. This got me kicked out of the ladies Facebook, the Ladies of New York City stand-up comedy Facebook group. I said, because this was around the Me Too time, a lot of these girls were saying like, oh, I was raped in a comedy basement after a show. It's like, what were you doing in a basement drunk after a show? Like, and you'd hear all these stories come out, and you'd be like, well, these are just women making terrible life decisions. They're not putting themselves in good situations. It's not like this just happens in the process of doing stand-up. It's like you get drunk, you hang out for too long, you're around unseemly people, these sort of things happen. And then I ended up tweeting out and or posting on Facebook, like, if you have time to get raped, you're not doing enough spots.
They didn't like that one, Chrissie.
They did not like that one. They never, to this day, that I might have said that in, I don't know, 2017 or 18 or even before that. And like every once in a while, people will still mention it because but it hit a nerve. It's like, look, you're not just a victim for being a woman doing stand-up. Like, just because you're in this field doesn't mean you can afford to be an idiot and not be responsible with yourself. So
no, totally. And look, I mean, my comedy is not especially edgy. Like, I don't have that many controversial opinions, but I'm not afraid to say whatever it is. And if you disagree, that's okay. I don't think that comedians necessarily have to be role models or our opinions don't have to, like, we're just trying to get laughs. At the end of the day, all I really want is for people to laugh. I'm not trying to change your political affiliation or tell you who to vote for. I'm just here to, make you have a good time. Like, go out to brokerage, watch my comedy set and laugh your ass off. That's all I care about. And I know that's how you are too, but somewhere along the line, we just got into this idea that we need to, like, ethically fact check and morality check every single comedian and make sure that their virtues are properly signaled. And to me, that's so silly. It's like, it's comedy, for God's sake. Are you kidding?
Yeah, people who do that, they expect too much from entertainers, and they give far too much power to. Essentially, we're clowns. We're really just trying to make people laugh, and we use it as a coping mechanism for ourselves. And
I'm just trying to get the attention I never got as a child. Is that so bad?
That's all. I'm just trying to get the attention I need, so I don't have to put butthole pics on OnlyFans. All right, can I do that? You get it, Clayton.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm a youngest child, so I felt like I never got enough, like, quality actual attention. Like, I might have been the most attention getting child in my family because I was, I don't know, seen as like the misbehaving one, as the bad. I just had more personality. I had just had a lot more going on. So but I never felt like I could really express my feelings as a kid, and even as a teenager, I always felt like, oh, I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. I can't be honest with these people. No one really cares. Everyone just kind of stuffs their feelings down. And so that's why stand-up was really attractive to me, because I was like, wow, a room full of strangers, the stakes are so low. I can be honest and I'm not going to upset anybody.
Yeah, as long as there's no blogger there with a vendetta against your political beliefs or something.
No, I say bring it on. Like, after you've been canceled like 3 or 4 times, it's a breeze.
Yeah, I mean, I think cancel culture actually ends up working in a lot of people's favor. I mean, look at Louis. Louis selling out Madison Square Garden again, and he's not suffering. He's not truly canceled. Look at Chappelle. The more they get angry at Chappelle, the more people watch his specials. It kind of reminds me of back in the day when Eminem had these homophobic rap lyrics, and then everybody said, Eminem is homophobic. And then the next thing you know, he's like doing an album with Elton John or something. And then
wow.
the biggest selling album of all time. It's almost like, as long as they're saying your name and they spell it right, who cares what they're saying about you?
Yeah, that's true. All press is good press.
Yeah, except for Hassan. I guess Hassan really did get canceled because he's not going to be hosting the Daily Show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, they didn't really like him lying about the victimhood. He said,
right. Let me pull this up. This was a little bit ago.
Yeah, but the news, the latest news,
right?
Yeah, and they're going to have Jon Stewart back, but he was in line. Hassan Minhaj was in line to be the next host of the Daily Show, and they just went back to Jon Stewart. And a rotating cast of guest hosts, of course.
And he was perfect. He was Indian. He was not white. Yeah. He had everything going for him to succeed in entertainment. Yeah, lying it's okay to lie in comedy, but not like Hassan Minhaj did. And like, let's see, what precisely again did he lie about? Let's see.
No, he claimed to be a
he
victim
lied
of racism.
Lied in his comedy specials, lied for the wrong reasons. My comedy, Arnold Palmer, is 70% emotional truth. This happened. And then 30% hyperbole, exaggeration, fiction. Yeah. And basically he just told stories like they were observational from his life that, evidently ended up not happening to him at all.
Yeah. I mean, they fact checked him because he was talking about times when he'd been a victim of somebody's racial bias or religious bias. And so people really didn't like that. They said, well, you can lie about other stuff, but not about that. And so that's why.
And they mentioned Steve. Oh, I remember this guy, Steve Ranazizi, lied about he pretended to escape the World Trade Center during 9/11. I mean, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah.
Whoo.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. It's amazing that actually took him out of the running to host The
Wait till
Daily
people
Show.
find out that you're lying about being pregnant. You're in trouble.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is not a baby here. I've just been eating bread again.
Carbo loading.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so much for him. That's crazy. I thought he was basically untouchable, but that's nice to know.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Where do you have any gigs coming up, Clayton? Anywhere people can check you
Yeah.
out, or is the album the
Thanks for
best place for
asking.
now?
Yeah, I'm going to be headlining Side Splitters in Tampa. They have two
I love Side
locations.
Splitters. Oh,
Yeah, you've been
what a
down
great
there?
club. Yeah, I was there in
It's my
December.
first time. I just got booked there. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the success of my new special, Middle
I'm
Child
sure it
Syndrome.
does. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll be there the weekend of, next weekend, the 8th, whatever that is, the 8th, 9th, 10th, that whole week I'll be there in the Grove location. I'm really excited. I've heard
Ooh.
amazing things about the place, and I can't wait. I love Florida in February. It's not a bad deal. So let's go.
No, good for you. That's really exciting.
And
I am
Goonies in Minnesota, the first weekend in March. I'll be there as well.
Oh,
In
awesome.
Rochester, Minnesota, March 1st and 2nd, headlining Goonies Comedy Club. They're going to run out of names for comedy clubs, Chrissy. I mean, everything's taken. You know,
Yeah.
Wisecrackers, Side Splitters, Chuckle Monkey, they're all done. Like, I
Flap
don't know.
Flaps. Yeah, yucks.
Yucks, yeah. I was there recently, too. I did a little Canadian tour. Yucks. I love
Ooh.
Yucks. Those guys are
I've
great.
never done comedy outside the country. I'm good though. Like, I don't know.
I think they would love you in Sweden.
Ooh, sweet. Yeah, I love their fish.
Yeah.
So
All right, we'll do a little research before the trip.
okay, that sounds good. This was interesting. This was something that happened a little while back that I never really got to talk about with anybody. So I guess there was an AI generated comedy special of George Carlin's um, put out recently, and now his estate is suing over this AI generated comedy special. I think actually his daughter is the one who's in charge of the estate now, who's filing these charges. So the estate of the late comedian George Carlin has filed a lawsuit against a media company that used AI to create a comedy special impersonating his iconic style. The special in question, titled George Carlin, I'm Glad I'm Dead, was released earlier this month. The lawsuit, filed Thursday in Los Angeles, asks that Dudesy, the company behind the special, take down the offending video immediately. The estate is also seeking unspecified damages. None of the defendants had permission to use Carlin's likeness for the AI-generated George Carlin special, nor did they have a license to use any of the late comedian's copyrighted materials, the lawsuit says. Dudesy created various AI-generated materials, but it is primarily a podcast hosted by comedian Will Sasso and writer Chad Kultgen. The company, as well as both men, were named as defendants in the lawsuit. So, wow, this is actually a comedian is behind this. The plaintiffs are listed as Carlin's estate as well as its executor, Gerald Hamza. Carlin, whose comedy career spanned over 50 years, died in 2008 of heart failure at the age of 71. In the special, Dudesy claims they used AI to go over all of his recorded material and produce new jokes that he might make in today's world. Kelly Carlin McCall, the late comedian's daughter, said in a statement to Fox News Digital, my father was a legend. She doesn't look like him at all. I guess that's a good thing. My father was a legendary comedian and a once-in-a-lifetime talent whose legacy is the body of work that he left behind. His actual performances, albums, and books. She continued, I understand and share the desire for more George Carlin. I, too, want to spend more time, want more time with my father, but it is ridiculous to proclaim that he has been resurrected with AI. The George Carlin in that video is not the beautiful human who defined his generation and raised me with love. It is a poorly executed facsimile. Am I saying that right? Cobbled together by unscrupulous individuals to capitalize on the extraordinary goodwill my father established with his adoring fan base. We have to draw a line in the sand, she said in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. This is going to be a fight on every front with entertainment at the center. Josh Schiller, the attorney for the plaintiffs, told Fox News Digital, AI may be the most important technology invented in generations and therefore requires a great amount of control and restraint to ensure that it is not misused. Otherwise, Like with prior revolutionary technologies, we risk it becoming a tool that allows bad faith actors to replace creative expression to exploit the already existing work of creators and to get rich at the expense of others. It's not just about AI, it's about the humans that use AI to violate the law, infringe on intellectual property rights, and flout common decency. So now I do recognize this guy, Will Sasso.
Yeah, he was on Mad TV. He's been in a
Yeah,
lot of
I'm
movies.
kind of surprised that a comedian would be involved with this. It seems just like kind of just a thing a comedian shouldn't do.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I'm with the plaintiffs. The only thing I could think for Will and the others who did this is maybe they felt like it was a way to pay tribute, use AI to kind of give us something we all wish we could have, which is more Carlin or whatever. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like you can't just use somebody's material and likeness, even if you're putting it through a computer to create more similar stuff. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are really keeping their eyes on this lawsuit, Chrissy, because it could really change how people use AI going forward, especially where it comes to copyrighted material and trying to create something that would be copyrighted if the late performer could create it today. You know, it's a question that we obviously never had to answer at any point in human history. So I'm really curious how it's going to shake out.
Wow. Okay, so God, I wonder if I can play a tiny snippet from this. Okay, so it's just his voice.
Yeah.
It's not that they've reanimated him or something with a
No.
hologram. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can play a tiny snippet. I haven't even listened to this yet.
You meet your soulmate? God brought us together. Your soulmate dumps you?
Huh.
God is bringing me someone else. You survive a tornado? I'm so blessed. 20 other people do not. God wanted them in heaven.
Okay.
It's all bullshit. If he gets credit for the good stuff, then he's got to take the blame for the bad stuff too.
It's like a little
Which, in
uncanny
my
valley
opinion,
sounding.
is the first step toward building
Yeah.
a society.
It's his cadence. The cadence is down.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like George Carlin, but not as.
Now, if you've listened to any of my prior work, you might
It just
already
sounds like a really good Carlin impression.
I agree. It's like if you made a computer that could impersonate George Carlin. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So are you allowed to do that without permission from the estate? If they say no, like I said, this has never happened before. So who knows what the courts are going to decide.
Wow. In the introduction to the special, which is still posted on Dudesy's YouTube account, a robotic voice declares, "I'm Dudesy and I'm a comedy AI. What you're about to hear is my second hour-long special. Before I get started, I just want to let you know very clearly that what you're about to hear is not George Carlin. It's my impression of George Carlin that I developed in the exact same way a human impressionist would." It continues, "I listened to all of George Carlin's material and did my best to imitate his voice, cadence, and attitude, as well as the subject matter I think that would have interested him today." The special then goes on to cover a variety of topics, including religion, politics, social media, and technology. Carlin McCall previously told Fox News Digital upon the special's release, "My dad spent a lifetime perfecting his craft. From his very human life, brain, and imagination, no machine will ever replace his genius. These AI-generated products are clever attempts at trying to recreate a mind that will never exist again. Let the artist's work speak for itself." She added, "Humans are so afraid of the void that we can't let what has fallen into it stay there. Here's an idea. How about we give some actual living human comedians a listen too?" And you know what? Like it is such a cheap, shitty imitation because what AI is as good as it could possibly get will never replace the feeling of being in a live stand-up show, the audience connecting with the comic connecting with the audience connecting with other people in the audience, like this shared experience, the once in a lifetime feeling of this show, this set this way. This group of people will never again happen. Every show is so unique. Even at comics, you know, you tell the same jokes, or maybe you have the same crowd work things you do from show to show, but you will never get the same results. And that comes down to the uniqueness of whatever audience is in front of you. And it's just like AI is never going to replace that magic.
Yeah, and I mean, even watching a special, and I want everyone to watch my special, obviously, but it's not the same as coming to see me live. You know, there is nothing that replicates the experience of being in a theater or a comedy club, any type of venue, and laughing together with 1, 2, 300 other people, right? So that is a unique experience. And so now you're not only trying to replicate the experience of watching a performance, you're also trying to replicate the performer. And I think that that paragraph at the beginning there was their way of trying to avoid exactly this type of lawsuit. It's like, disclaimer, I'm not George Carlin. I'm doing an impression of George Carlin. I'm a computer, right? Just not trying to pretend that this is actually Carlin's work. So, I mean, I can see both sides. I really wonder what the court's going to say. How do you think this will end up, Chrissy?
I wonder if they go, you know what? We let dead people vote in the last election. There's no reason why dead people can't keep coming out with new comedy specials. Who knows
Yes.
if AI Carlin will come out and support a Joe Biden? Anything's possible at this point.
Who is George Carlin going to vote for in the upcoming election? That's what I want to know.
Oh, we know. All the dead people vote for the same person. It's always whoever's running as a Democrat. Max Brinkle in the chat says, Clayton and I went to the same high school together. Do you know this man, Clayton?
Yes, I know Max. Hi, Max. It's been a long time.
Ooh. Did you guys do gay stuff together?
Not in high school.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think this is bad. I just think this is very icky. It's similar to kind of joke stealing. You're taking someone's essence and you're trying to repeat it. It's and he had a long,
Chrissy, you
great
don't have
career.
a problem with. No, I hear you, but you don't have a problem with impressionists in general, right? Like if I go up there
No, not at all.
like,
They people love impressionists. Impressionists are actually perfect for people who are not really comedy nerds or comedy fans because they go, oh wow, that person really sounds like Jordan Peterson, or like, oh, I mean, that's how a lot of people started to notice Tyler Fisher, is because he had really great impressions.
Great
And
impression.
he did a great
Yeah.
Fauci impression, which got the attention of the folks over at Daily Wire, and that's how he got involved with the Terror on the Prairie movie. So impressions are a great way to show off your skill set, and you know, it's like a roast battle. An impression is like, oh, you have a very focused person or character that you're writing jokes for, and a specific voice. It just gives you a nice focus that sometimes writing for yourself doesn't really give you. So I'm all about impressions.
Yeah. Yeah. So we just don't want the impressions to be done by a robot, right? I mean, I think it's different when it's a person doing it, because that actually takes talent. You know, Jim Carrey, when he got started, that's all he did was impressions, and he was great at it. He scrapped his whole act and then started, working on his own original characters, like the fire marshal and some of the other things.
Fire Marshal Bill.
Yeah, all that stuff. The Mask. Those were based on characters that he had.
Wow.
But yeah, doing impressions is great, but I feel like audiences today kind of want to meet us too, right? So like within your impressions, if you can share a little bit of yourself as well, I think that's what most modern audiences are actually looking for. So that it's not just something a robot could do.
I've never done an impression that is like a direct exact copy. It's like I always bring something weird to it. Like I'll always do an impression like I am also revealing a side to this person's personality that isn't public or isn't known.
Right.
I could never do, because you're always adding in the ingredient of yourself into the mix. So it would be impossible for me to just do like a straight, that's just not how I work. So
not you.
I always put myself into it. This is important news because this is coming up. It's getting to be that season. It's getting to be that time, which happens every February. It's the season of love. It's the season of candy. But Reese's has a new Valentine's Day candy heart that is leaving the internet in hysterics after being compared to the male genitalia. Clayton, can you guess what male genitalia the Reese's is shaped like?
I mean, it's not exactly multiple choice, right? You got, so you're telling me the heart?
It's 2024, Clayton. Men can have anything down there.
What is a man? I don't even know these words.
No one knows. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? It's peanut butter enrobed in pink cream. Let's see. I hope this is safe for Facebook. Oh yes, look at that. It does. It looks like balls.
Oh no!
Oh no. Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
I'm fully aroused.
So these are new. I guess these are dropping just in time for Valentine's Day. So some of them are probably on the shelves as we speak. Social media has been flooded with posts from users who are convinced that Reese's snack size pink treats, which are described as peanut butter enrobed in pink cream, look more like a scrotum than a heart.
You said it's dropping.
Yeah,
that's what balls do.
These look, yeah, definitely middle-aged to geriatric here. These have some girth and heft to them.
I'm sure there's a plastic surgery those balls can undergo to rejuvenate themselves a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, this went viral. This picture. It's a pink heart. See, men and women can get behind this. It's fun.
Yeah.
You know, if you see a gal put this in her mouth, you know, maybe that's the girl you ask out. Reese's thought the pink hearts would be cute and not look like balls at all. He captioned in the snap. I thought the same thing, but I'm still eating it. This is a peanut butter nutsack, joked someone else. Heart, balls, either way, it tastes like peanut butter and chocolate, so I'm good with that. This really does. I don't know why they didn't think to make the heart part more defined.
More hearty and less bally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great. But let's be honest, if somebody gives me one, I'll probably eat it too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's chocolate and peanut butter. I can't say no.
No. Okay. One woman tagged her boyfriend and wrote, "Babe, I can get you some pink yummy balls for Valentine's Day." Or did they know exactly what they were doing and they are marketing gurus? Ooh, they just probably sat and waited. They're like, you know what? People are going to say things.
Conspiracy theory, right? Maybe this is like a way to get everybody talking about the pink balls. Get them for a loved one this holiday season.
Yeah. They're not doing this yet. No one's talking about this is the Halloween pumpkin. Doesn't look anything like a pumpkin.
Doesn't look like anything.
But a hot tip about the Reese's is if you get the ones that are sort of either Halloween themed or whatever, are seasonally themed, they are fresher than the ones that are just like the straight up Reese's cups, because those can be on the shelves like all year and it's hard to tell how old it is. Whereas when these pumpkin ones come out or these ball ones for Valentine's Day come out, you know they're a little bit fresher because they're seasonal. So that's my.
And who doesn't love fresh balls, Chrissy?
Everyone loves them. Just warm out the shower. How much are they? Okay, let's see.
She wants to know how much they are. Somebody gift Chrissy a case of those. Send it to the studio.
I could check Amazon. You know what? I am curious. Let's see on Amazon how much Reese's Valentine's Day hearts.
Put it on the wish list for the Simps, Chrissy.
Ooh, okay, $12.99 for a 10-ounce bag. They also sell ones that are chocolate, like brown balls for our brown ball folk, and then they have the pink ones. Oh, I think they knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing.
I think they were like, we're dealing with either brown balls or pink balls, and we'll just let the people decide for themselves. I mean, look at this.
I'm offended to have my genitalia, exploited in in that's part of our body.
The pink hearts for the white boys. And then we got the milk chocolate for our friends in the NBA. Wow. Okay, now I'm really craving Reese's. You know which Valentine's Day candy I really love are like the cherry like jujube. I don't even know if that's what they're called, but they're like the cherry hearts. They're so gummy, but they're like almost like the cheap, just cherry flavored, but like a thick gummy. Oh, they're so good. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I
All
think
right.
they're Brax brand. I have to look them up. Hold on.
That sounds like a pregnancy craving to me, if I've ever heard one.
No, it's not. I've loved these for years. It is not a pregnancy craving. Ugh.
Have you had any weird cravings?
No, I haven't had any weird cravings. Things taste better than they did before. Like tiny oranges taste better than before. Look, these guys, this is what I'm talking about. Like these cherry
Oh,
jujube.
okay. Yeah, no, I never tried those. I have to get some.
They're insane. Sorry. I'm not sponsored by Brax, but they do make a nice gummy heart. I guess maybe it reminds me of being in school and like giving out candy or getting like a cheap Valentine or something.
Yeah. Remember you would go to school and like some girls would get a lot of Valentines and some wouldn't get as many. It would just be like a little bit sad. And now the kids, they have to give everybody. The rules are in school you can bring Valentines, but you have to give one to everyone in the class.
I don't appreciate that because so that means you're gonna go until adulthood without being actually hit with reality. You know,
Right.
you're gonna
You
be
have to be
delusional.
rejected when you're 6. That's what I always say.
You need to get that rejection in early so you can develop a thick skin so it won't matter as much to you. And like these kids, these Gen Z, these Zoomers, they all got Valentines when they were little. And guess what? They can't cope with real life because they all got too many Valentines growing up. That's the root
That's what
problem.
That's what it comes down to. It's a Valentine's problem. That's right. We can fix it.
We had a thing in middle school that you could, if it was your birthday, they would let you have like Mylar helium balloons on your backpack and like all the the more popular you were, typically girls would do this. The more popular were, like the more balloons you would have because all your friends would bring a balloon to school for you to tie to your backpack until basically it was like an up situation where you'd like almost be levitating from the floor. But then they had to outlaw the balloons because they would make the losers feel bad because they would not get as many or any balloons. So.
Yeah, I mean, we need absolute equality. You know, everyone is beautiful. Everyone's a 10. You know, don't ever think that anyone's better or hotter or anything else than anyone else because that's not the world we want to live in 2024.
You need to be rejected early and often in life because that's what forces you to figure out, to pivot and find what you are good at and where you do find confidence.
Yeah, Charlie Brown would have made a great comedian because he got bullied a lot.
Or a Pigpen.
Pigpen
would be a classic New York City comedian. He lives in Astoria. He has 5 roommates. He's filthy. He sleeps on a mattress on the floor.
Yeah, and they call him like Angry Jeff or something like that.
Yeah. Or then there was like, who's the one black guy in the one black kid in Peanuts?
Oh, Franklin. Yeah,
Franklin.
Yeah.
But Franklin would go by, because black comics don't often go by their real names. They have some sort of jazzy stage name like Imagine or
Cheeseburger.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh my
Love
God.
that.
Fealty, you have not had a Valentine in 20 years. I'm getting you the biggest Valentine you've ever seen this year. Also, yes, we will be having a Valentine's themed wet spot show on Monday, February 12th. So if anybody's in the New York area and you want a Valentine, come hit me up. Come to the show. Clayton, I got to get you on wet spot. Any Monday that you are tooling around the city.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to come on. I mean, I'm a fan, so it would be great. Yeah. Well, I'll just see like which porn stars you're going to have on that I want to be near. And
I'll really? Is that what it's about? Wow. It's not that you just want to hang out with me, Clayton.
No, that too. Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, it's not worth your time unless you might get chlamydia. I see how it is.
Yeah, I'm a gambler, as we said at the beginning of the episode. Here.
Yes. Okay. I see how it is, Clayton. All right. Okay, so people can buy your album, Middle Child Syndrome. They can listen to it on Spotify. Where else can they purchase it?
So you can get it on Amazon, Apple TV, YouTube. It's pretty much everywhere, anything you have at home. And you can listen to it for free on Spotify, which is cool. I also have a book out called The ROI of LOL, which is about how to use how to use comedy in your business dealings, and I think it's pretty great. It's co-authored by an actual CEO who knew what he was talking about. So
What does
yeah, check that
ROI
out
stand
as
for?
well. ROI is return on investment.
Oh, see, I don't know that because I am a
Yeah.
failure. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
you're not a business person in that way. That's all.
Not in that way. No.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love this. So if you want to buy Clayton's book, go to roill.com. Check out his album Middle Child Syndrome. Or if you're in Vegas, go see him play poker.
Come sit at the table with me. Bring your money.
Bring that money, Clayton. Thank you so much for coming on. Good luck with the album. Good luck with the shows. And I'll get you on Wet Spot sometime soon. We'll
Chrissie,
hang.
you are the greatest. Much continued success. And I wish you all the best with your pregnancy. If I don't see you before that thing pops out, enjoy.
Thank you, Clayton. I'll name a stretch mark after you.
I appreciate that. All right.
And thanks to everybody in the chat, and we will see you next time. Bye.